We have found even more insane, unhinged, absolutely bonkers Reddit stories. They're just a non-stop pouring of crazy things that people write on there. And we've gathered up a bunch more, and they are fantastic. And today I'm joined by Ian and Spencer. Both of you like Reddit. I think you're actually the first guests on here who actually use Reddit.
First white guys.
Yeah. You would never be able to tell, but...
No, I actively stay off Reddit.
Oh, that's smart.
But I know, like I'll just fall down like a pit of despair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does happen.
But I do use it for whenever I finish like an episode of Love is Blind and I want to go to like what everyone's talking about.
That's smart.
Yeah. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the two subreddits.
Those are the two subreddits.
Those are, yeah.
I get most of my humor from Our Funny.
Yeah.
That tracks.
So epic.
That tracks.
That's so epic.
Yeah, here's a story for you.
Yeah.
Are you prepared?
Yeah.
Okay. My husband is obsessed with Destiny's Child, and it's ruining our marriage. This is from our advice. When you ask Reddit for advice, which is smart.
You want to know my advice?
What?
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Okay.
Not Destiny's Child.
Not Destiny's Child.
That's TLC.
Last year, my husband discovered Destiny's Child. I don't know how he wasn't aware of them before, but that's beside the point. He obviously didn't have this obsession before we were married. In fact, we've been married for 7 years, and he'd never exhibited any signs of obsessive behavior before this. Now his obsession is taking over both of our lives and costing us a lot of money. He spends all day on eBay bidding on Destiny's Child merch. He is always the highest bidder, so it's very expensive. He is only subscribed to streaming services so he can listen to them. He bought a Bluetooth shower speaker so he can listen to them while he bathes. We cannot have one conversation without him saying something like, you know, this actually reminds me of a Destiny's Child lyric. He's spent hours watching YouTube tutorials, learning the choreography from every video. He makes me sit down and watch him dance in front of the TV to make sure his form and timing are perfect. He emails the members often, begging them for a reunion. He emails Beyonce regularly, begging them for a reunion tour. He has also sent them birthday gifts in the mail. I would like to point out that his obsession is not sexual in any way. He just thinks they're really cool. I'm almost to my wit's end. I feel like I can't escape Destiny's Child and have lost my husband completely to this obsession. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Some comments. Just wait until he finds out about Beyonce and her solo career.
Yeah.
Is this a midlife crisis? Asking as a nearly 40-year-old man. It sounds like this is an attempt to reclaim his youth. Put me down as pro-intervention therapy, too. This is a symptom of some larger psychological issue he needs to work out. Another comment said, I quickly glanced through the comments and didn't see this mentioned. I would go to the hospital to check for tumors. One day my cousin had bizarre obsessive behaviors and it turned out he had a large tumor in his brain. I'm no doctor, but quick changes in personality behaviors could always be something medical. I hope you find peace with this soon. My thoughts to you. I'm sorry. I'm laughing a little hard at them treating it like I'm so sorry that you're doing this. It's like my husband.
I
loves
will say
Destiny's Child.
it sounds like we need a resolution.
I love that. I love that Reddit has became WebMD. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you like Destiny's Child? It's cancer.
So we have an update here.
Okay.
He's dead.
He chased those waterfalls too far.
Damn it. My husband had an MRI yesterday. He reluctantly agreed to it because he knew I was absolutely terrified and anxious. No tumor, thank goodness. Everything was normal. He is finally beginning to understand how seriously I take this and how much of a problem it's become in our marriage. He has agreed to visit a therapist. Hoping for the best. Thank you all for your wonderful advice. It means the world. All right. Well, I think that's a great update. Good for them, and good for him for being, being open and her whatever.
For being a survivor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it didn't get the attention the first time I said it.
No, it was good.
I will say that got very serious for such a silly title. Do you think this is this deep, or do you think this is a little blown out of proportion? Like this guy just really loves.
When I discovered Blackpink in 2020,
Yeah.
who's to say I didn't do all of these things? No, but it like slash SRS. Serious. On a serious note, no, I would be alarmed.
I agree that the sudden change.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if it's like,
yeah.
oh, he's always been obsessed with Destiny's Child and he's always been a fan of bands and stuff, but it's just suddenly out of nowhere. And I get that. I think the issue is that there's money involved and he's spending a lot of money on it, and that's concerning. And
I think also like him forcing her to like watch him dance and like, I'm like, is your husband 14?
Is he good? Like, is he good at the
yeah, I guess that's
dances?
the question is if he was really good, maybe she wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
If he ate, maybe.
All right, next story. Am I the asshole for being racist and rude because I refuse to try spicy Indian food? Okay. This is a 23-year-old woman. I absolutely cannot handle spice, so I avoid Indian cuisine. My acquaintance, a 22-year-old woman, is Indian and invited me to a dinner party at her house with a lot of people I am friends with. When I got there, she tried to offer me some food, but I declined and told her I couldn't handle spice, and she took the food back to the kitchen. Later in the party, she came to me with some sort of Indian dessert and asked me to try it. I was a bit frustrated at this point because I already explained that I can't handle spice, and this dessert, I think she said it was called, mind you, this is the person who, I don't know if they, so this is her thinking of whatever this was. I think she said it was called jalani or something. Was fried and dripping in red hot oil. I told her that this dessert looked super spicy and that I could not try it. She insisted that it wasn't spicy, but I know that people, especially those used to eating spicy food like Indians, have vastly different ideas of what constitutes spicy. I said to her that I probably would find it spicy and refused again. She got upset at this and avoided me for the rest of the party. This morning, a bunch of friends messaged me and said I was being rude by not trying the dessert, and it was apparently racist of me to assume that it would be spicy. I honestly was just trying to protect my sensitive taste buds from a fiery death. Am I the asshole? There's an edit. A helpful commenter let me know that the name of the dessert is called jalebi. You can search it up to see what I mean when I say it is super red-orange spicy. So I guess it looks like funnel cake, but it's red. And it's just super sweet because it's a dessert.
But it's not spicy.
It's not spicy because it's a dessert.
I will say.
I mean, I guess desserts can be spicy, but this one's obviously not.
Just like naan bread, kind of spicy.
Stop.
You know, rice?
Yeah.
Pretty spicy.
Samosas?
He wasn't asking questions.
No, she did. She asked questions. Her friend said it wasn't spicy, and she chose not to believe her. She's like, no, I know better. It's definitely spicy.
I sometimes wonder if you can't handle any spice, how you enjoy food. Like, so much food has some level of spice. Like, is pepper too much for this lady? There's some comments here. You were ignorant. Not all Indian food is spicy, like hot, which I presume is your issue. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I can't handle hot spice, but we regularly order Indian takeaway and eat at Indian restaurants. The cuisine is immensely flavorful, but not all hot. I avoid spicy dishes and still find plenty of food to love. One of my favorite dishes is butter chicken, which is a creamy and not remotely hot curry dish.
So good.
You've decided in your mind that all Indian food is spicy hot. That's like eating ice cream and deducing that all desserts must be cold. You're the asshole. Unless you think sugar is a spice, it is not spicy, it's sweet. The orange color comes from saffron threads. You can look up the recipe online. Oh, so this is a thread of comments. I wonder if this person avoids spaghetti in case it's too spicy for her. Mustn't eat strawberries. A red bell pepper? Jesus, are you trying to kill them? Ketchup for the extreme adventurer. So have you ever made like a wrongful assumption on food when you're, I feel like you're a foodie. I feel like you know food really well. Like and you would eat, there's nothing that you wouldn't eat, I feel like too. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm like this person. I'm not afraid of spice, so I would never.
Well, I mean, there was a time, there was a moment in my life where I never had Thai food before, so I didn't know what the hell I was looking at that point. But when somebody offered it to me, I went, yeah, okay, I'll try it. Yeah. And it was great. Yeah. Like, to just be like, no, I know Indian food. I know this entire country's food from like one takeout that I had. Right. Yeah, that's where she messed up. But she's 23, whatever. She'll learn.
I hope she does.
I hope she learns. How much do you think it's okay to try to, I mean, for lack of a better word, like, try to persuade or convince someone to try something that they haven't tried, that they're hesitant towards? Because, like,
I think especially if it's like something that you've made and it's important to you, then I think you should feel free to pressure somebody into trying it.
I'm bad about this. I'm definitely pushy when I want someone to try something. As like if it's like spicy or something, like I get it, but if it's not spicy, I try and pressure Kiana into eating things all the time. I'm like, bro, you gotta, yeah. I'm like, you gotta try like this drink or like this, like just like a sip. Like
Kickstart.
Yeah.
The new Kickstart flavor.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
I think something. This is obvious, but I think it's a running theme in a lot of Reddit stories too. Is that food means a lot to people?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's such a big part of culture, and also just even beyond culture. Like it's also just personal to so many people.
Yeah.
That like it's important to think about that when you're declining it, and you can decline it. You're allowed to say no to stuff, obviously, but like for her to say no, I don't eat any Indian food is gonna come off offensive.
And for
to people.
for her to say like factually incorrect things, like no, it's spicy, and she's like, no, it's not.
Yes, it is. that is frustrating as f.
Yeah.
So guys, we have a doozy here, but this is apparently legendary.
All right.
So this comes from our Petty Revenge,
Ooh,
which
yes.
is some good shit.
Yes.
For those of you who are unaware, the name says it. It's for revenge stories, but it's stupid, silly revenge. Lie about having COVID to take 6 weeks off while I do your work for free. I'll throw an all-office party to announce where you really were.
Whoa.
Sounds like some I would do.
Mid-pandemic, my boss disappeared. Just as we were gearing up for our most challenging, time-intensive project in the last 5 years, he dropped off the face of the earth. We kept working for a week or so without him because everything was virtual and the virtual work world was still so new. We didn't really need him. We were delegating tasks ourselves and completing things on our own. We spoke to coworkers maybe twice a week. But some decisions were beyond our discretion, so we could not move forward on those aspects of the project until we received a response from him. After about 7 to 10 total days of silence, we called his boss's boss, who informed our team that our boss had COVID, so wasn't able to work right now. We took that at face value, of course, sent him letters of well wishes and didn't bother him with work stuff or ask why he was able to notify his boss but not us. 3 weeks go by, still not a word. We're beginning to discuss amongst ourselves whether or not he's maybe dead. We're terrified and horrified and so concerned. We're contemplating calling his extended family. We're sending flowers and care packages to his apartment. Meanwhile, the project has descended into chaos because no leader was appointed in our boss's stead, so we are forced to navigate several layers of bureaucracy in order to accomplish most anything at all, whereas in the past, he would have just signed off in real time. Around week 4 or 5, one of our coworkers suggests he doesn't really have COVID, but is instead using it as an excuse to take time off. We all jump all over our coworker, asking how he could insinuate something like that and lamenting about what a tragedy our boss is probably living through. People were chilly to him for days after that. Week 7, we're undertaking... Week number 7. Week 7, we're undertaking a letter writing campaign to upper management demanding an acting boss be appointed while ours is recovering. The project is a month behind schedule. We're all working overtime every day, sometimes on weekends without extra compensation, just to keep up with the clusterfuck of the boss's sudden absence. Week 8, he finally reappears, logging into a morning meeting as though nothing happened. He looks well-rested, well-fed, and has a tan. Not at all like someone who's just come out of the other side of a 6-week respiratory virus. He says something quickly to the effect of, yeah, that was brutal, glad to be better and glad to be back, let's get to work, but doesn't want to talk about what happened to answer any of our questions like, were you in the hospital, what was it like, etc. Fast forward to about 4 or 5 months after this. Whoa. My sister sends me a promo for a fairly new reality show. I'd never heard of it, but it's on a major platform, and says, isn't this guy a friend of yours or something? I swear I've seen him and you together. I watched the trailer for this show, and lo and behold, there's my boss, participating as a contestant on a reality TV show. It did not take long for me to put the pieces together and realize he took extended leave to go on TV, that he knew he wouldn't otherwise get during this massive project, and lied about it under the guise of a vicious disease that nearly all of us had lost a loved one to. I sit and stew with this information, unsure of how to handle it. I know confronting him won't get me very far, but I can't just do nothing, right? I'm not close enough with any of my colleagues to discuss this with them and trust that they wouldn't run off and send an all-company email about it. So I slept on it a few nights, and then the opportunity fell right in my lap. I got an email from corporate encouraging teams still working remotely to plan virtual social functions to keep a collegial culture going and to stay in touch. Among the suggestions were game night, trivia, and watch party. With the premiere of the show only a couple weeks away, I got busy telling everyone how I'd been meaning to get into this show, and it's so enticing and exciting, basically laying the groundwork to guilt them into coming to an impromptu virtual watch party off hours. I offered to get special shirts made up and send them to each person's house, whatever I had to do to get the attention of corporate. Finally, I sent an evite to all my boss's bosses and any other members of corporate I could justify inviting without making a total ass of myself. Because this is entirely virtual, my boss is unable to overhear any of the chatter. He doesn't realize I'm hyping up this show, and he doesn't realize I've planned a watch party for it. I wasn't inviting him unless he had the balls to explicitly ask about it. I was hoping he wouldn't have heard about it at all, not until afterwards. That was really the only way this could work. The night comes, and I am screen sharing the show to a whopping 64 people. A huge chunk of my department.
Yeah.
Many members of corporate had showed up because I was the only person stupid enough to buy into their virtual social work party scheme, so they felt pressured to support it. I was holding my breath, hoping this would go my way, bracing myself for some kind of curveball, but there wasn't even that dramatic of a buildup. Right at the outset, they introduced the premise, which included the contestants being in a COVID-safe bubble in an exotic location, and gave a brief overview of each contestant. As my boss was introduced, right down to what he did for work, and I could see people register delight and surprise, then go blank, just before sliding into confusion and rage. The chat took a drastic turn from, "Oh my goodness," and "I knew him when," and all sort of pithy jokes to brave member of my team, or perhaps one just pushed a tad too far by all the extra hours he pulled in this douche's absence, sent the message, "Wait, when was this filmed?" My audience dropped from 64 to 58 to mid-30s, and by the time the episode was over, it was just me and the other 15 core members of the team. One asked if I'd already known, but some members of the team are very close to the boss, so all I said was, "Well, I definitely do now," and wrapped up the call pretty quick after that. Perhaps one of the best bonuses is that you could already tell from episode 1 that the character arc the show assigned to our boss was bumbling idiot. Yeah. He had his true colors on in full display and some production massaging upped them to the 11th degree. Boss was fired. My good buddy was promoted to his place. I am an office legend now, especially since no one is 100% sure whether or not it was intentional. And it was all so satisfying that it was almost worth the dozens of hours of uncompensated overtime that led to it. There's an edit title, should be 8 weeks. I kept not factoring in the first couple weeks because we weren't suspicious or burdened until the final 6. Wow. This guy really is stupid because he knew they were gonna have to find out eventually. It's a reality TV show.
It's like, look, even if the whole thing isn't true, it's an incredible story. It's an incredible yarn of petty revenge.
I believe this. I think this is real.
Yeah.
I think, someone could be
believable.
stupid enough to go on a reality show. Like, how long could one of us go on a reality show without
People are
the other? Like, there's so many reality shows.
If someone who worked at Smosh went on a reality TV show, they'd have to be very stupid.
Really stupid.
No, I agree with like the
dumb.
stupidity of the person for doing that. But like, if they hadn't told us, like, would we know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
No, we would've
I think the thing is, like, some people are so blinded by the idea of fame that they're willing to push anything aside in their life to try to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those reality shows, you have to stay so, even if you're like voted off immediately, like Mari, she went on Survivor and she had to like stay hidden for like 2 months without any kind of contact, to the point where I remember somebody called her husband Peter and was like, "Oh, where's Mari?" And he just said, "She's gone." and they're like, "What do you mean?" And he said, like, gone. and like not thinking that's made
Like
it sound
the
like
movie.
she's dead.
Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rachel was on the circle, and
Yeah.
I remember like but that took like weeks of her preparing everyone for like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
going to do
yeah.
this. She still like did some work.
Yeah, no, she
That's
was not
fine.
supposed to have a phone, and she was definitely
okay,
texting
okay.
all of us.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Rachel went and did a reality show, but she informed everyone
Yeah.
that she'd be leaving.
She told her team.
Yeah, she didn't say that she had COVID.
That's the most messed up part because that was like the early days of COVID. It sounds like
It sounds like this is really like
really before we kind of understood. Not that we totally
Yeah.
understand it
Just
now,
makes
but
me
like
so mad.
it's really to take advantage of something like that.
Yeah.
So the comments did some detective work, and they agree the show is likely F-Boy Island,
Oh.
which
okay.
is a surprisingly good show. I'm gonna say. And that premiered July 2021, so that means this was 2020 when he went and filmed this, and that's
Yeah.
it heart of it.
but that was like,
he
yeah.
might
and
have
it's
caught
also for
Delta.
F-Boy Island, but also he sounds like a total idiot. Like, and the fact that his arc was that he was the idiot
Yeah.
amongst
Oh,
all the
F-boys.
men on F-Boy Island.
Yeah, whew.
He was the most dumb.
Yeah.
Impressive. Someone said,
I think he was a manager. Whew.
yeah, well, yeah, he was a boss somehow. This isn't petty. It's at least pro, possibly nuclear. Well done. I agree. This is beyond petty. This person.
This is professional revenge.
This is the Ocean's 11 of getting your boss
Agreed.
fired.
Incredible.
Have you ever caught anyone in a lie this big?
I'm trying to think like if anyone's just like lied about something to that degree.
Yeah.
What would you do if you found out that someone you were working for did
Oh, the
this?
moment if I have found that out, I like this person had the wonderful ability to like have patience and just sit on it and plot. Whereas like me, the moment that trailer hit, I would have been just slacking everyone, being like, "Yo,
Agreed.
what
Yeah,
the
same.
hell?"
This,
I
this
think
is calculation.
This shows real
and
resolve.
this is not
Yeah.
I do not possess this tact.
The OP responded to some people with some more context. Did you and your team apologize to the team member that you quasi-ghosted? Oh, because there's the one guy who was
right.
like, guys, I don't think he has COVID. And they're like, F you, Daniel.
Yeah, he called it.
He was the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he was way ahead of them.
Yeah.
They said, absolutely, they devoured the watch party, are still saying, I told you so. And it's understood that we now all owe him favors. I think he also understands to a degree that we sincerely believed the guy had COVID at the time, and it was still very raw. Many of us suffered direct losses from COVID, so there aren't hard feelings on either side. With that context, too, like, that guy, obviously he's so dumb and so self-centered, he probably just, when people told him like, oh yeah, I lost someone to COVID, or like, yeah, I'm going through some serious family turmoil because of COVID, he probably was like, didn't really register it. But to use that lie amongst people who are going through,
Do you think production maybe recommended that he use the COVID excuse?
Hollywood, man.
you think his bosses, what I'm shocked about is that the bosses above him, it feels like we're bad at their job of making the system keep going.
That was like if your work falls apart that badly from one person going away, then it's like you need some like, and if like after a week or two and like there's no solution, it's like please.
My conspiracy is that people in higher ups at corporate knew. And they were just kind of like,
Oh,
because
I think you were
you
suggesting.
just said that.
No, he was suggesting like the people on
production.
the
That they-
The F-Boy Island people suggested that he used that as an excuse
That's
to get out
very
of work.
possible. Oh, I mean, reality show producers, they don't give a shit. Like, why would they care? Did he just not realize that he was going to be on TV? See, this is the part I really don't understand either, and have spent a considerable amount of time trying to game out. Best I can figure it, he assumed it wasn't a popular show, or maybe someone would potentially say, I saw a guy you work with on this show, and he hoped whichever boss heard it wouldn't follow up. But that, in all likelihood, it just wouldn't be popular enough to get seen. Or, and this is what my coworkers all think, that he figured he'd have plenty of time to figure out a decent excuse and either didn't, or he tried whatever excuse he'd prepared and it flopped. But I personally never underestimate hubris and definitely haven't ruled out his crossing his fingers no one would ever find out or he'd outsmart them. My theory is that he thinks he would get famous enough that he would be able to just leave.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Negate.
Like I bet he thought like either nobody sees it and I can continue with my job, or I get famous and I just quit my job, get those brand sponsorships.
I think people outside of LA, they think that like when you go on a reality show, I mean certainly me growing up outside of LA, I would think like if you went on a reality show, like that's it. Like you're famous now. Like you don't really have to do anything else. Like you don't come back down from that.
Right.
But living in LA, you see people who have gone on reality shows, but like also work jobs. Like the show did not change them at all.
It doesn't. I don't think those reality shows pay much anything.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it doesn't sustain for long. Like you'll.
Unless you're on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
But you
Then
have to
some
be
of
like
those
a
people.
particular. You have to like either be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have to win
Yeah.
to like.
You have to be like a star already, like
There-
a star within the show.
Yeah.
A star on a show that is a star show.
99% of reality show contestants just go back to being regular ass people
Yeah.
after. So he got paid at his job while he was going and doing this reality TV show.
Probably.
Which
at least
is
to a
so-
certain amount of time.
That's fucked up.
He was
With
getting
sick leave.
at least for
using
some of
sick
those
leave.
weeks while he was doing a reality show on an island somewhere
Yeah.
On
with a
an
bunch of
F-boy
hot people.
island.
He was getting paid for
I haven't
the
seen
work
the
that he
show. Is it
wasn't
all?
doing.
Is it all dudes just hanging out? Is it like this?
It's three.
Are we on F Boy Island right now?
We're what F Boy Island looks like. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
That was great. Am I the asshole for suggesting my 7-year-old name his new stuffed tiger Tig Bitties? Pretty much the title. My son won a stuffed tiger at the fair last night, and he said he had named him Tig. He asked me what its last name should be. I couldn't help myself and just instantly replied, Bitties. Then I turned to my wife to share a smirk, but she was pissed.
Of course it's a guy.
The old ball and chain.
But she was pissed and quickly suggested a few different names. But my son insisted that he liked Bitties. So now his tiger is Tig Bitties. My wife thinks it was completely inappropriate. I think it was a silly joke that went over his head and will have no negative ramifications.
Famous
You know,
last word.
I think we're the wrong
yeah,
audience.
we're all
We're
like,
100.
damn, that's great.
brilliant. Yeah, we're not the right audience to answer this question.
Like, man, that's
you,
awesome.
You think it would be okay, like, with if you had a kid or nieces or nephews to like
No,
to-
it's
well,
your
like
kid.
to, look, if it's an inappropriate joke that goes over their head, is it okay?
Well, it's like that kid that says "fire."
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Well,
you know
so-
what he's saying.
Or it's like the
but-
kid who asked to see the cats, and he goes in the people's house. He's like, "Let me see your titties."
I want to see your titties. My brother wouldn't be able to say truck, and he would say f***.
Yeah.
And my grandma would so often be like, "Oh, Brian, what's that?" Like, she was stoked about it.
I mean, what are kids for if not to like make us laugh?
They're just for entertainment,
Right,
right?
yeah,
They're just to be just jokes.
Not
I
the
would
asshole.
say I would argue if it's not appropriate to make jokes that go over kids' heads, then Shrek is a f***ed up movie because that has so much that goes over kids' heads.
I think parents. I think you would just go insane if you weren't allowed to like
Yeah.
you know like toy with your kids a little bit.
I guess the fear is if he has a stuffed tiger that he loves that's named Tig Bitties.
yeah.
I feel the issue that's going to come up is his friends and other parents are going to find that out.
People
But
are.
Tig Bitties
yeah.
is really not like
He's not going around
horrible.
saying "I love Tig Bitties" to like all
He probably is
his, like,
telling he's probably telling people he loves Tig
probably telling
Bitties.
people.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Hey, teacher, I gotta be honest with you. I really love Tig Bitties. I f***ing love Tig Bitties. Hey, don't say Tig Bitties. The verdict on Reddit was that he's not the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go,
but
boys.
Reddit's gonna side.
The verdict: divorce.
The verdict: you gotta get divorced because she's lame. This next one is from Off My Chest. I made
It's
my
gonna make a Tig Bitties.
Get these Tig
So
Bitties
to off my
off
chest, I named my tiger. So to off my chest, I named my tiger Big Titties. Okay. I just said Big Titties.
Oh.
I made my girlfriend cry for admitting that my best friend is more attractive than her.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, is this Love Is Blind season 3?
God damn.
Plot twist:
Colt?
his best friend's a guy.
I know what you're talking
Oh.
about. I know what you're talking about. That the guy who was just kept
Colt?
talking about how hot one of the other contestants was.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy is dumb. Before I even read this guy's dumb. Okay, it's a 25-year-old guy. I've been dating my girlfriend, who's 24, for almost a year now. Before we became official, we were friends for at least 4 years. Other than my girlfriend, the second most important person in my life is my best friend, who's also a 24-year-old woman. We've been best friends for more than a decade, and she's been there for me for all my lowest points. I literally would not have survived this long without her. Our relationship is purely platonic. I admit that I've had a crush on her before, but we both admitted that it would be better for us to stay as best friends, and that was that. She isn't the stereotype girl best friend either. She's just my best friend who just so happens to be female. She respects boundaries, and I'd like to believe that she genuinely just sees me as a friend and vice versa. We've been each other's support systems for a long time and even trust each other more than our own parents. Recently, my girlfriend asked me if I think she's prettier, more attractive than my best friend. For context, my best friend is a successful fashion model influencer. She looks like your typical model influencer, tall, slender, clear skin, while my girlfriend is honestly short, quite chubby, and has a lot of acne. Fuck, man. Yeah.
My girlfriend's a total uggo.
Look, just between me and you, Reddit.
I love my girlfriend. I really do. She has social anxiety and thus sometimes goes for long periods of time without contacting me. But I've never once felt any doubt.
She's also kind of stinky.
But I've never once felt any doubt or temptation to cheat or find someone else. I accept and love her as she is. When she asked that question, I answered that yes, I believe my best friend is prettier, more attractive than her. I mean, come on. My girlfriend is a normal girl and my best friend literally gets paid and receives lots of free stuff solely for her looks. She got offended and started crying. She hasn't talked to me in a while either. I don't understand why she's acting that way. I mean, the answer was obvious, but it doesn't make me love her any less. I clearly chose to date her instead of other women. I accept her as a whole package. I told my friend about my answer and she slapped me. Now she's been on my ass to make it right. Was I expected to very blatantly lie to my girlfriend? Wouldn't it have been worse if it wasn't honest? Anyone with eyes could clearly see who is the more attractive one.
Bro.
Wouldn't it be a slap to her to just lie to her face that way? I don't get why I have to be the bad guy in this situation.
There's a lot of things to cover in this.
Where to begin?
This is definitely a real story from a real
This is a
Redditor.
real story.
A man did this.
This is giving hard
I
Reddit.
also be straight up, I think this happens a lot.
I guarantee you his friend is the one that set the friend boundaries. Like there's like,
Oh, yeah.
this
Yeah.
guy sounds like
Oh, it
he's,
sounds like it's...
if he ever had the chance, he would jump on that.
It's what I think's sad is it just feels like he also respects his friend more than his girlfriend by a lot. Like it just sounds like the way he's talking about her goes beyond just like, oh yeah, she's obviously pretty. It just sounds like he thinks she's better.
He didn't say like a single nice thing about his
Girlfriend, no. Like it was really devastating.
He's like, I love her, but she sucks, man.
I love her, but she's gross.
But was it the girlfriend that asked?
The girlfriend
Right?
asked him.
Okay.
Recently, my girlfriend asked me if I think she's prettier, more attractive than my best friend. That makes me also believe what we're talking about, which is that she obviously probably can tell that he's attracted to his best friend.
Yeah, I
Because
think
that
that's...
question, it does sound like he was saying she's insecure, but I don't think it's necessarily that. A theory is that she's not an insecure person. She's insecure about his relationship with her because it is weird.
I'm imagining like if I had a girlfriend and she had a handsome male friend and I asked her like, hey, do you think he's hotter than me? Like, what can you realistically expect from like you're
I don't think it's a fair question.
I don't think it's a fair question, but yeah, I don't think like
There's probably a reason why she asked that
That's
question.
what I mean.
yeah,
I think she asked it because
yeah.
there was already weird signs, and I think he.
and I wonder if
probably-
she even phrased it like that. Like maybe she asked something like, "Are you attracted to her, like
Yeah.
more than me?" And it's
probably-
like that's a different like because someone can be like prettier, but like you're not as attracted to them.
Right. And that's what his answer should have been.
Yeah.
Which is, should be the truth.
Yeah,
If
like,
he's in a
no,
relationship,
I'm-
it should be like,
yeah.
dude, I am so attracted to you. Like, there's no
Yeah.
one that I'm more into than you. That's the answer. But he went and said, well, no, obviously.
No, she's hot as
Look at her. Fucking look at her.
She gets paid just for her face.
Just something that caught my eye, too, was she has social anxiety and thus sometimes goes for long periods of time without
Yeah, why'd you throw her
contacting
under the
me.
bus like that, man?
It's given a lot of red
This
flags.
is interesting. This just sounds like a relationship that shouldn't be happening. I don't think they're.
You think so?
I think she should break up with him.
Yeah.
Because there's no way.
No, dude, she's got
There's no way.
no.
After something like that is said, I think that is so hard to come back from. He might as that is gonna have the same impact on her as cheating on her. Because it's him saying, oh, this person's better than you. I mean, you kind of already said it. What would you do if your partner asked this question to you? Like, if you were dating someone and they said, "Hey, do you think?"
I think I'd be kind of dumbfounded. Like, I don't think, like, I think now, like, being separated from it, I could be like, well, I'm more attracted to you. Like, you know, if I had time to kind of calculate an answer, but like, realistically, if someone asked me that point blank, I would freeze up. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
There's only one solution. You only date 10s.
Yeah.
Some comments, 25 years old is way too old to not understand how dumb that is.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Someone said, I think you are confusing hottest with attractiveness. I think it is safe to say your best friend is hot, but attractiveness depends on the person. So you should always be more attracted to your girlfriend than your friend. Who describes their girlfriend as short, quite chubby, and has a lot of acne? Like, Jesus, that's brutal. If my partner described me like that, there would be a problem. Okay, there's an update. I was able to talk to her. She apparently told other people about the situation, and everyone, including her own mother, sides with me.
Maybe she has a bad support system.
She shouldn't have been asking me questions like that when the answer was obvious.
Bro, this guy.
God!
Guys, she apologized for even asking that question in the first place. To everyone saying I should have broken up with her, we're good. I'm feeling very betrayed by my best friend instead because it's clear whose side she took. She's the only one who took my girlfriend's side. Most of the people we know are also upset at her. These are people who actually know us and the relationship. Oh my God, what the f***?
I want to meet these people so bad.
When I see like that, I'm like, oh, this is how people like Elon Musk exist.
Yeah.
Like really, like I'm just like, this guy just got that solidified. He's 25 now, he's gonna be like that forever.
Yeah.
I just don't believe this update. I just don't.
Yeah, oh, are you thinking he's like, oh, well, f you guys, actually,
Yeah,
everyone said that I'm cool.
That's what I think
Actually,
happened.
everyone said that I'm f***ing cool and I'm great. So, all right.
And actually, I'm having a threesome.
Yeah, so many threesomes, I'm so tired. Come on, Tig Bitties. This is from Today I F***ed Up, which is a...
Oh, I used to go on that one all the time.
This is a personal favorite of mine. This is great. Today I f***ed up by thinking my son was having gay sex when he was just eating hummus.
To be fair.
So I've never had gay sex, but I've had hummus. So I, a 39-year-old woman, have a son who's 15, and he brought a friend round today. They immediately went to their room, and I assumed they would just play some video games or whatever, so I was totally fine leaving them. It was about 30 minutes in when I was walking past, I heard sounds such as, oh my God, that's so good, and it's so good with that in it, and various sounds.
Let's see how chill
There's
the mom
no
was.
other way to eat hummus. It really sounded like they were having gay sex. I was super weirded out by it.
It's just sex.
So I quickly went downstairs and waited for his friend to leave. When this friend left an hour or two later, I asked my son what they were doing in his room. Because although I don't mind him being gay, and I think it's and I know it's normal for teenagers to have sex, a condom really should have been used, so I plan to confront him about that. However, the answer shocked me to my very core. They weren't having sex, they were eating hummus. I was shocked and initially didn't believe it. We had never had hummus before, and I asked him to...
Does this overlap with a girl that doesn't eat spicy food?
We had never had hummus before, and I asked him to show me the hummus if this was true.
Show me
the hummus! So he did, and I ate hummus for the first time, and oh my God, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good?
No. So he did, and I ate hummus for the first time, and oh my God, was it good.
What?
Where does it rank compared to gay sex?
We experimented with different things in it, like bread and carrots, and it was great. Apparently, his friend had heard about how he had never had hummus before and thought this was so absurd, so had planned a date for a hummus party. So yeah, it ended up being quite a good ending. I discovered how nice hummus was. Thought my friend was having gay sex. He just really liked hummus.
What if they had hummus and then
So guys, I want to remind you that this is also Best of Redditor updates.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I don't know what's going on.
Can I point? I wonder if so she thought they're having gay sex, and then the friend no, it was gay sex. So the friend walked out of the room, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, how are you? And he's like, oh, I'm stuffed. All right.
Things people say after sex. Whoa. Oh, man.
I am so sexed. Comments were, oh, I see you got hit by the emergency hummus.
No, hummus.
Were you guys having sex? I always kept open hummus inside my closet for when I was having sex with my friends. You never know when you might get caught. Lady for real just fell for the old hummus trick.
See all this trick in the book.
Okay, here's the update.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Here we
It was a
Here
tumor.
we go.
So yeah, the majority of you were right. They were having sex.
Yes, let's go.
Good for him.
No, not sex. Let's say it all together.
Hummus.
I did think it sounded like it. They ate some hummus first, then put it away, didn't do anything at the same time like some of you freaks suggested, and then had sex. My son's boyfriend, I think they're boyfriends, saw the post and couldn't stop laughing. So told my son, thinking it could be about them, who told me because I think he felt a bit guilty about hiding it. Other than that, nothing really exciting happened. We had a long, awkward talk. I told him I don't really endorse him having sex, but he should really use a condom, etc. Now, on to the more important thing, hummus. I really like hummus now. I'd never had it before because it just looked kind of disgusting, yellow and sludgy. But I have learned appearances can be deceiving. It was homemade, so I'm going to have to ask for the recipe so I can make some more. I've finished all of it. Also, what are some other good things to dip in it? I've tried the obvious things, carrot, cucumber, breads, and any suggestions would be appreciated. A lot of people have recommended baba ganoush as well. Is that similar and better than hummus?
God.
I love baba ganoush and I've made it myself. You throw some eggplants in your oven.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Baba ganoush.
I just have to say, it's a little strange that she's more accepting of hummus than her son having sex.
No, she was chill. She was
chill with
chill.
it. She
She
just
was
said, like,
okay
please use a
with it.
condom. He's 15. I think
Word.
it's more just like,
Yeah.
oh, like, please, like, you know,
Damn.
you're young, like, don't.
Yeah.
TLDR, my son is actually gay, but I also really like hummus.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's,
I love that.
That is the.
Who among us?
I see. This is how you should react when you find a new food you've never had before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever covered up something you were doing with a blatant lie or anything like that? Did your parents ever catch you or almost catch you doing anything?
I don't think I was ever caught. I was not intimate with many people when I was young.
Yeah, problem is
But my bed was far too squeaky to get into anything anyway.
Yeah.
So it was the bed and it was the squeaky
It was
bed.
the bed. That's why I didn't have sex.
I
really.
can safely say that throughout my teenage years, I had zero hummus.
But my boys.
Boys. All right, here's the next story. Okay, this is totally going to be very different.
Okay.
So buckle up. This comes from R. Am I the Asshole? And also was reposted on R. Am I the Devil? Which is where the worst of the worst end up. Am I the asshole for impersonating my sister during a traffic ticket and getting a felony?
Maybe.
What?
I was driving and unfortunately speeding when I zoomed past a cop who came out of nowhere, and of course he hit his lights to signal me to pull over. I knew I was in hot water because I sadly get pulled over for speeding often. Then stop.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it is, but once I have the music on and the top off in my zone, I tend to go in my own world and sing and vibe, which often turns into Need for Speed, Fast and Furious edition, and I ignore traffic obligations and speed limits. Oh my God.
Then you shouldn't drive.
Why are you writing
Need
this
for
out?
Speed, Fast and Furious? What
Look,
is
I
this?
can't help
Need
it. The
for
music
Speed,
comes
Fast and
on,
Furious
and I just
edition?
have to speed.
She should be arrested for saying Need for Speed, Fast and Furious
Yeah, everyone
edition.
knows it was Forza that had the Fast and Furious collab.
Most of the time, I make it without getting pulled over, but when the cop stopped me, I panicked because I knew I had several warrants for previous violations I had not taken care of. So when he came to the window and asked for my insurance and license, I lied and said I left my purse at home and verbally gave him my sister's name and date of birth as my identity because we looked just alike, and I knew once he ran her name, it would come back clean and I would be free to go. If I would have given him my real information, it was a huge chance I would have been taken to jail and my car impounded, and I was on my way to school for finals and just couldn't risk it. So long story short, I gave him my sister's information and he wrote out a few tickets and was free to go. Well, fast forward a few months later, my sister is notified somehow that she has an outstanding warrant. She doesn't understand how or when. I completely forgot I used her name, so I didn't think anything of it when she was venting until she called my mom from the police precinct and said she went to appeal the citations and they showed her a body cam photo and it was me. Well, she decided to file charges against me. Multiple exclamation marks. I apologized and told her I would pay off the traffic tickets and explained, even though I was completely wrong, the reasoning behind my actions and how it was the end of the semester and final testing. More exclamation marks. I apologized and I know it was a stupid mistake, but she still gave them my information and pointed me out on a statement as the person impersonating her and defrauding the officer during the traffic stop. Well, now I have a court date for 2 felonies for identity theft and fraud. I know I was in the wrong, but my sister did not have to press charges and ruin my life before it has even begun. I am the first person in my family to get into college, and this will ruin everything. 2 felonies. I feel like she took the situation too far, even though she has a good reason to be upset, but wow. Now my mom, dad, and brother are not speaking to her unless she drops the charges. I am the youngest and she the oldest, and sometimes feels she has to be stern or correct me because she feels I get spoiled or special treatment, but these are serious crimes that will be on my record and not equivalent to what I deserve. Am I the asshole for my Am I the asshole or my sister? I can't believe the
Is she
family.
in high school? Because she says her finals and she's the first person to get into college.
Oh my
like,
God. Then,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't
she's
know.
probably like 18 or 19 and she already has so many warrants and shit.
So maybe it's finals. For
Yeah, I mean, it could be college.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
she's in college.
I think she could be in college. A lot of people were thinking that this is a troll post.
This doesn't feel
It doesn't
insane
give
to
me the vibe of a troll post. Like,
I have kind of a hot take. I think, I mean, I would plead to my sister to drop the charges, like, but I would accept her because I mean it is gonna kind of ruin her life. Like, it's a dumb thing to do.
The family is siding with her.
Yeah, no,
They're
and the
saying,
family,
hey.
like, the family, like, taking a side is f***ed up for sure.
I don't know. I guess I understand where the family's coming from. I'm not defending them.
Yeah.
I'm saying they understand that, once she has these 2 felonies.
Yeah, it's gonna ruin
Because
her
it is
life.
f***ed up how America works, where it's like, once you have felonies, you just can't work.
Yeah.
Like, you really are kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So I get that, and she's very young, so it's like that's putting a kibosh on her life.
This definitely does seem like somebody that doesn't think that there's consequences for their actions.
Yeah,
though.
and the felonies are for identity theft and fraud, which are in the sister's hands too. It's not the traffic tickets and stuff. So,
But I wonder if, like, the sister just, like, has been, like, forced to kind of eat shit her whole life,
it
like,
sounds.
from
I mean,
the younger sister.
She sounds
like,
spoiled.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
does sound spoiled.
Yeah, she's like,
but
oh, I've got like 4 tickets, and like, you know, sometimes I just
It's
drive
whatever.
fast. I can't help. It's unfortunate.
maybe what could be happening, because there's no updates or anything. There's a part of me that thinks if you're an older sister and your younger sister did this, your younger sibling, of taking it all the way to court, getting very far, and then being
dropping
like,
it.
all right, I'll drop the charges.
Yeah, that's big sister behavior.
Like that. That's cold.
Yeah.
But if you know it's like, I'm not going to up your entire life, but I'm going to ruin you for a couple months.
Yeah.
Like, you
It's
could
gonna
do that.
it's gonna teach her. I hope it teaches her a lesson.
Probably, I would
They're
think so.
never gonna recover from that. I think that like lying to a police officer and you know, would that be considered fraud or whatever? Like, I don't think it's really up to this. I don't know if that's up to the sister.
Yeah, so someone said the sister kind of did have to press charges because she had to agree it wasn't her and it's her moral duty to tell them who actually committed the crime since it's possible, and the cops press charges, not her. So,
But it still sounds like the family like is kind of making it seem like there is a
chance
choice,
for her to
like
drop,
for her to drop the charges.
Yeah, that's true. The family's making it sound.
I think
But
we
if
have to
she
treat it.
If she lied to an officer, then that's the state taking her.
And now that she's already gone to the cops and been like, yeah, it's not, and it's like clear that it's not, they probably can see the sister and be like, yeah, oh, that's actually her. Plus, by the time they pulled the body cam footage of the event, it probably would have been out of her hands by that point, and she will have limited say in how it goes. I'm sure the US has similar, but this type of crime in the UK would be called attempting to prevent the court of justice, and they take that sort of thing really seriously as it's viewed as an attack of sorts on our justice system. Yeah. That's just throwing a family member under the bus like that is.
She was definitely the asshole for doing that initially.
Yeah.
I just hope that a lesson can be learned.
Moving on. The next one comes from Am I the Asshole? I, a 20-year-old man, Feel like I'm too short to date anyone, and it's been rather difficult.
Oh no.
Why'd you pull this one, Kiana?
Yeah. Why is this story specific for the one that? All
I just
right.
want to let the record state I'm not short.
The one
Well, that's why you're a C
Oh, on the tier list?
on the tier
All right,
list.
thank you.
Yeah. This is a throwaway, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. My friend is 6'1", and he works out regularly, but respectfully, he doesn't look good at all, face-wise.
He is short, chubby, and has acne.
My other friend is way hotter. But he seems to do really good with girls. They're always all over him and stuff because of his genetics. He comes across as confident, smooth, suave, and funny, but when I do it, it doesn't work. Objectively, I know I have a better face than him, but I don't seem to get any attention. I mean this respectfully. I'm 5'3", and I've tried getting girls below my league, and even that doesn't work. What can I do here? TLDR, I feel I'm too short to date.
Did he say his friend was funny and that had something to do with his genes?
Because he's
Those aren't
tall.
genetic. That's not.
But he's saying
Think of how
he says he
funny
comes
Adam Sandler is.
But he's not
It's
saying
'cause
he's
he's
actually
tall.
funny. He says because of his genetics, because he's tall, he comes across as
Yeah.
confident, smooth, suave, and funny.
Or maybe he just is.
But when I do it, it doesn't work. Objectively, I know I have a better face than him, but I don't seem to get any attention. I mean this respectfully. I'm 5'3", and I've tried getting girls below my league, and even that doesn't work. What can I do here?
He should his friend.
Yeah.
Maybe get some of that confidence. Yeah, I think addressing people as like below your league, that's indicative of a bigger problem.
Yeah, I think it's very clear what the issue is probably with this guy. I think he's probably extremely bitter, and it comes across immediately when he's talking to people.
I think he should probably get off Reddit and work on himself.
Yeah, comments, the fact that he wrote respectfully 3 times in such a short story means he's not really all that respectful. Oof, it's definitely not his height holding him back. Yeah, it's pretty clear.
He's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
See, if he leaned into that, you know.
Yeah, maybe if you got a
he's
hat
like,
with all
hey,
those
what? I'm
pinwheels.
just a little guy.
He just needs to stop.
Yeah.
I think the issue, I mean, look, we talked about some of this stuff in Short King tier list, but like,
Check
it
it
seems
out.
also that this guy has just, so much of his identity and so much of his life purpose is dating and like,
And the
like-
friend. Why is
and the
he?
friend,
Why do
he's
you
so
spend half the
obsessed.
thing on the friend?
yeah, like I think he's so obsessed with that. If he just like lived his own life and just tried to do his own thing and have fun and be chill, I think he'd have more luck. But he probably, every conversation he probably has with a woman, he's probably thinking about his height. And it's probably just f***ing him up. And he's bitter and disrespectful.
My favorite part of these is like kind of reading the language that they use and like getting the clues from
Oh,
that.
it's always
versus-
clear.
Yeah.
Every guy, when they post on Am I the Asshole, they always
coded.
have a tell somewhere
Yeah.
along the line. They say female too much, they something like that, or they call their girlfriend short. Okay. Am I the asshole for wanting to postpone my wedding till my fiance gets rid of his braces?
Huh. Okay.
Aw.
Okay.
Okay, my fiance, a 25-year-old man, has braces. He refused to get them when he was a child teen because he feared people would make fun of him. But he finally accepted to get them after the dentist told him clearly that it wouldn't be recommended to replace his extracted teeth till he fixes his crooked ones. The issue is that our wedding was supposed to be coming up soon, but now I plan to postpone it till my fiance gets rid of his braces. I have nothing against him wearing braces. I even encouraged him to get them to finally fix his bad teeth. But did you ever see a groom wearing braces in his wedding photos? I don't think so. I thought my fiance would be understanding, but instead he got mad at me and accused me of being ashamed of him. That's obviously not true. I just want our wedding photos to be as aesthetically pleasing as possible, and that's why I want to postpone our wedding till his braces come off. I also told him he could have avoided all of this if he got invisible braces, but he said those were much more expensive and wanted to save money specifically for our wedding and honeymoon, and didn't think his fiance would be so shallow to care about it. He ended up saying that if I postpone the wedding now, I might as well just call it off altogether,
Whoa.
which I think is incredibly unfair of him to do. Maybe I should have insisted on this issue either, or shouldn't have. I don't know what she meant to say by that. Wow.
I have something. I have my parents when they got married. My dad had braces, and I will say he looked goofy as hell in those pictures.
Yeah.
he looked very
Should
silly.
she have postponed it?
Yeah.
But also, like, what, our parents got married in, like, what, the 80s?
It was the 80s.
They look goofy as hell anyway.
That's true.
And that's how we're all gonna look too.
No, and I look at the pictures and I'm like, wow, that's so funny. Like to me, it's such a non-issue, but I think maybe the poster could have worded it a little more carefully with the husband. If they came at it in a way that made the husband say, like, we might as well just call it off. Like, I wonder,
Yeah.
I wonder about that dynamic. It feels a little like, it feels like tensions are running high. For anyone to say, then we might as well call the wedding off. Like my non-confrontational ass, I'd be like, okay, like fine, like it's off.
So-
I'm sorry.
Interesting.
So a little bit of context. Someone asked, when was the wedding planned and for how much longer does he need to wear the braces? Also, have you already set up the wedding date, venue, put down any money, etc.? They replied, I booked a venue for a specific date for this spring since last year, but I plan to cancel and book it on the same date in the next year. Hopefully he wouldn't need braces till then. So she's postponing it a year. That's a lot.
Why don't you just Yossify your wedding photos?
Just Photoshop the
Yeah,
bro.
So you actually realistically can do that nowadays. Make him teethless. He should postpone the wedding until you mature. You're the asshole. This poor guy avoided getting braces because he was afraid of being bullied, and here he is being bullied by his own fiance because aesthetics. You're the asshole, OP. Your fiance deserves better.
Might as well just shove her at that point.
The verdict on Reddit was asshole.
I think it's all about like how, I mean, for some people, the wedding pictures are so fucking important.
Yeah.
And like, look, it's not me. I can't relate to this at all. But like, if it is really what they want, they could ask their partner to postpone the wedding. But to like dictate, then it's, it could be a conversation, but it sounds like it wasn't a conversation.
It sounds like she approached it poorly. I mean, if I'm putting myself in this guy's shoes, I don't think I would be bothered. I really don't, because I'd be like, oh yeah, like sure, like that.
Well, I'm not a
supposed to
nerd. I
put-
would never have adult braces.
But to postpone your wedding
A
for
year
a year
is crazy.
just because of braces?
But they are 25.
Still,
I
sucks.
look, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying. Weddings are expensive. So is it okay to be shallow for once in a lifetime type of event like this? I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people are very particular about weddings, but as we said, it's a whole year. And like, it's very specific, like I'm postponing this wedding for a year because of something that
I mean, maybe I'm just thinking of COVID times, but I feel like people were postponing weddings a lot.
Just so we're clear, like for a good venue, which I assume since she cares so much and everything, it's typically at least 5 figures. Like it's not cheap. Weddings are notoriously so expensive. So they've already booked this venue and they're going to cancel it and then pick another one, spending more money. I'm kind of the opinion, like I do think wedding photos are kind of generally silly. Like decades down the line for your kids and stuff, it's gonna be silly. Like I never look at wedding photos from my parents or from anyone and go like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm there to
that's so
laugh at
sick.
'em.
I think it's. I almost think him having braces will make them have more character.
No, absolutely.
And that's more of a
that's-
story,
yeah.
and that's like sweeter in a way.
It's
That's
like how
my
you-
opinion.
It's like true like slice of life.
Yeah, that's what we looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But,
Sometimes
but some people want that, like the prince and princess
they really
wedding,
want that.
Like, everything has
It
to be
makes me wonder if
perfect.
these two people just aren't meant for each other. Like it just seems like they're different people, and like if this is their reaction to like big things, then it's like that's.
And if you're taking that, like if me and my hypothetical fiance were having this,
One day,
yeah,
bud,
one
one
day.
day.
No, if we were having this discussion and she like goes to Reddit, I'd be like, what?
Oh yeah. No, I mean the biggest tell is that they go to Reddit
Yeah.
to talk about it with other Redditors.
If you go to Reddit, you're the ass.
You're the asshole. This next one comes from R. True Off My Chest. My boyfriend got mad that I only spent $20 on him for a date. I, 24-year-old woman, went on a date with my boyfriend who's 24 recently in celebration of our 1-year anniversary. Money's been running tight recently since my boyfriend was fired from his job recently for showing up high.
Nice.
I knew he was really upset about the whole situation, so I wanted to cheer him up, and I thought taking him out to dinner for our 1-year anniversary, which was coming up, was the perfect way to do so. I took my boyfriend to one of my favorite restaurants from my childhood. It wasn't a high-end restaurant because I make like 1/3 of what he used to make, but nevertheless, he loved the interior design of the restaurant and the food. We were having a great time until the waitress came and told us our combined bill was going to be a little under $45 after tax and tip. My boyfriend looked at me weirdly, but I thought I imagined it, so I ignored him and paid the bill. After the waitress left to get a box for our takeouts, he turned to me and asked, "So that's how much you value our relationship after 1 whole year of being together?" I was confused, and he said, "You only spent $40 on our 1-year anniversary date?" I asked, "What's wrong with that?"
Bro.
And plus, the prices were printed on the menu. He said, he said, "You were supposed to pay. Why would I have looked at the prices? And every time we went out, I always spend hundreds of dollars on you." I didn't respond because I didn't want to cause a scene, and he raised his voice and said, "I see how it is. I'm only worth $20 to you." Then he left the table and told me I can take an Uber home. I feel really bad, and I apologize many times, but he's still mad at me, understandably. And things have been awkward. Oh my God.
I can't believe she did that.
I don't think this is a real story.
You think this one's fake?
I think this one's fake.
I think if it is real, he deserves to be like shot.
Yeah.
Because that's like, there's no way he's gonna treat anyone right in any
That's
capacity.
insane.
That's a
That's
legitimate and like
nuts.
delusional person.
Yeah, like after getting fired for showing up to work high.
That's what
a
I'm
thing you
worth
can
to you.
easily avoid.
I mean, have you tried being high though? It's pretty. No.
What was the restaurant? I'm so curious.
It's that's the right price range for like a Chili's, which is awesome.
Yeah.
If someone took me to Chili's,
No, but like you could do like a cute mom and pop Italian
I mean,
restaurant.
if you're not having alcohol,
yeah.
like $20 a person, you could get a
That's actually-
good meal.
Yeah.
Like that's not cheap.
yeah, expensive doesn't necessarily mean good. I've had expensive meals that were not good, while I've had
Oh,
$20 meals that are some of the best I've ever had in my
Yeah,
life.
absolutely. And this was a place that was special to her. Like,
Yeah,
it
this is
wasn't-
like a childhood
It wasn't
place
just
for her.
like, oh, it's expensive, like, take here. It's like, this place is special to me, and I'm gonna share this with you.
I mean, like I feel like for an anniversary, you could also do even like a picnic or just like whatever. What a douche. Some comments. Your last line almost broke my heart. He has no reason to be mad at you, let alone understandably. I've been married for 8 years, and I wouldn't care if we went and got Taco Tuesday, dollar tacos. It's not about the meal, but the time you spend together. Ditching you at a restaurant as a punishment for you not paying enough for his dinner is a huge red flag. Not to mention his decision-making ability that not only had him show up high to work, but so high that they could tell and fire him. Just ask yourself if you want to always be walking on eggshells to avoid getting stranded by him whenever guys are out together if you say the wrong word or do the wrong thing. Yeah.
I think if my partner left me at any restaurant for like any reason,
That's insane.
that's insane behavior.
saying
That's
take
so
an Uber.
childish.
In my opinion, if you're in a relationship and you say take an Uber home or whatever, you're breaking up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's a breakup move. Like you're
Yeah.
saying we're done. Like that is so either they did something so disrespectful or
like-
you are now disrespecting them so badly, it's done. You're not recovering from that. Someone said, so he gets fired for going to work high, isn't currently working, your finances are tight, yet you still decided to spend $50 on an anniversary night, when I'm guessing that amount of cash is a hell of a lot right now. Sorry, but he sounds like an unappreciative ass.
Even if they were the richest person in the world, that behavior is still.
Oh, it's still super
Yeah,
inappropriate.
it's so weird.
Even if he wasn't fired.
Yeah.
That doesn't, no context
None of the
makes that okay.
no context could make that okay.
Like, literally, it's so insane. There's an update. First off, I just want to thank everyone for the overwhelming amount of support and private messages. I have read all of them, and it warms my heart how caring internet strangers can be. I just ended my relationship with my boyfriend. Yeah!
we did it, Joe.
Yes! I'll try to keep this post as short as possible and try to refrain my emotions from seeping through. I can forgive him for showing up high at work and losing his job. Everyone makes mistakes, but recently he's made it clear that he won't be trying to find another job in the near future, so I know our relationship isn't going to be sustainable. Also, I'm not a drug user myself, but I've always been okay with him using it from time to time, but recently all he does is get himself high in front of the television and he stopped taking care of himself, and I'm really, really scared for him. I'm scared his body can't handle it. He's still icy with me about our last date, and probably because the drugs cloud his mind, and we haven't really had a real conversation since then. I decided to formally end things, and I phoned his parents, and I told them about his condition, and right now he's living with them, and I hope they can help him better than I can. Rough. Real rough. But she did the right thing.
Weed. Not even once.
Weed.
I can't believe weed made him do all that.
I can't believe that was Weed's fault. Okay, here's our last story. I've looked at this title.
Is it a doozy?
It's a doozy.
Let's go.
We've got a new Reddit thread in here.
Oh boy.
This is from our unpopular opinion.
Oh, you know this is gonna be a banger.
And was then reposted on our Am I the Devil? Because this guy's opinion was actually unpopular.
Am I wrong?
I understand why women feel oppressed, are oppressed, but I think it would be a dream to go through what they do.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, let's hear him out.
You have my interest.
Let's hear him out. Let him cook.
The only reason I work out or anything is to be more attractive to women. If I were a straight woman, plenty of men, even reasonably attractive ones, have low enough standards that they would sleep with a below average woman they don't even know. I'd just go around getting blasted and ran through. Catcall me? Great. You're coming home with me. Not trying to minimize what women go through, but personally, I would love it and wish I could. The same way some people hate working a certain job while someone else loves it. I'd just be better off dealing with women's struggles. I don't really care if a woman sexualizes me, or if she only listens to what I have to say with the promise of sex. In fact, I wish all the women that ignore me would just have sex with me and pretend to care. I just want woman friends that I can vent to and have sex with. I don't have that. Any woman can have that with a man, though. The biggest issues for a woman, in my opinion, are the following: periods/childbirth. I never want kids. I just have my uterus removed.
That counts as one?
Yeah, that's one thing. Period/childbirth. I never want kids. I just have my uterus removed so I don't have to deal with it.
Is that how it works?
I don't think this guy knows how women work, so I'm just gonna make that assumption now. Self-image? Only reason I work out isn't because I'm not comfortable in my own body. It's because as a man, I already can't have sex with a stranger more than once every couple months, and I want to improve my odds. As long as I'm even close to average as a woman, I could just get drunk and hook up with random guys at bars whenever I want. Fear of being sexualized? I want to be. Not taken seriously in professional settings? I don't really want to work.
That's fine. I don't want to work.
I don't want to work. I just want to be a housewife with no kids in an open relationship. Plus, you get to weaponize your femininity. I don't see any downsides for me. I can see why most women feel oppressed, but really, this is all I want, and I wish women treated me the way they complain about men treating them. Okay.
This guy's just like uncontrollably horny. Like,
look, I wish him the best.
The issue is he's not talking about what women go through. He's talking about an alternate reality where women would treat him this way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's like, he's insanely horny.
Yeah, he's not actually thinking this through. Edit. I never once said women have it easy. I never said women are making a big deal out of what they go through. Women all have valid concerns, but they're just not concerns that bother me.
But
same way how for some people having a child would ruin their life, and for others not having a child would crush them. It's just a difference in opinions. I'm speaking for myself personally. My life, the way I do everything, revolves around the promise of having more sex.
Yeah.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This guy's just horny.
Women can have sex a lot easier than men. I don't care if you argue, well, women might be able to have sex easier, but that doesn't mean it's easy to find a relationship. I don't want one.
Yeah, he's just...
I want to have a bunch of friends, male and female, and to be able to have sex with at least 80% of the female friends I have if I just spontaneously hit one of them up. I don't want a monogamous relationship. I don't even want a single friends with benefits relationship. I want where practically every woman in my life could sleep with me if I wanted, with no expectations of being anything more than friends.
This person is 16. This person is just horny on main at 16.
Only NBA players and famous rappers can live this life. And that still comes with tons of expectations to maintain.
But I gotta rap!
But then you still have to work. And that still comes with tons of expectations to maintain your fame and status.
I
don't even want to work. He says it.
Yeah, this was written by Dennis from Always Sunny.
This really is a Dennis post. Almost any woman could become a porn star. You shoot a few times a month and make a good annual salary.
That's definitely
you hit
true.
up any of your personal guy friends and you can have sex with them and go back to being casual friends easily. And you could have 50 of these relationships if you wanted. Just a whole life centered around self-care, making friends, and having sex with your friends if you wanted. Very few men...
Just keeps going.
He keeps going. Very few men can ever have anything ever related to this lifestyle.
Unless you're a rapper.
Unless you're...
Or an NBA
Or an NBA
star.
player.
Yeah.
Let's unpack that.
Women can be a professional dominatrix if they wanted to and get paid to spit in a middle-aged man's mouth and insult him. I can never do this. Even the most attractive of men can never do this.
Actually, yeah, you can.
You probably could.
You can.
I
yeah.
bet you there's some men who would be down for him to spit in their mouth.
No, there's definitely men that are professional dominatrix.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like...
Yeah.
You're so focused on comparing how you think women have it harder that you're ignoring that I'm making this post as an individual. And as an individual, I just want to have a load of free time to have sex with my friends after I come home from a long day of having sex.
I feel like I should hate this person more. Yeah. But the more they talk, the more I'm like,
you know.
the more I'm like,
hold on, he's got a point. You know,
it's says, like look, if he hadn't led with like the women oppression angle, like if he's like, I just want like more sex, it's like, okay, sure. But the way he framed it is insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He sums it up, his last sentence is, I literally only care about sex and friends. Women can feasibly live life that way and I can't.
No.
Find a woman living like that.
Someone said, what's stopping you? Just go to a gay bar and live your dream.
Yeah, no, straight up.
Go find some hummus.
This is an incel's understanding of women's experiences. Yeah.
No, I feel like he doesn't have a single relationship with a woman.
Where he's really wrong is saying like, we could have sex and go back to being casual friends and it's totally fine. It's like, no, one of those 50 guys is going to kill you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, you forgot where some of the men are going to become violent and scary and
not want to just make it.
Yeah, no, he's missing a lot of parts. I think you're right. I think this is a 16-year-old kid.
Why don't they want? I would.
No, you guys aren't hearing me.
Come on! No!
If he just made his post just that last line of I want to come home and have sex after a long day of having sex. If that was his only take. Then I'd be like, you know, good on you. Good luck with that.
That's not even an unpopular opinion. If he posted just that, of like, I want to come home and have sex after having sex all day, a lot of people would be like, you know what? Yeah.
Upvote.
Yeah. Take my gold.
Take my gold. Take my stranger.
Every single cringy Reddit thing. Man.
Oh, he doesn't
I hope this ends up being a Twilight Zone thing where he wakes up as a woman one day and he's just like,
that's a horny version of your name.
It's a horny version of your name. Your name, but he wakes up and her body just has so much sex.
Just has so much sex. He's like, you're just my friend, right?
I really hope this guy
I hope he finds God.
I hope he has God. I hope he has at least one conversation with a woman.
It'd be awesome if, I don't know, he met a woman.
Okay, well, that's the final story, and what a guy.
That was awesome.
That was really
not that story, but like all that.
So we usually do a thing, and I wasn't keeping tabs on it now, but who do we think is the king of the assholes? My vote, probably the boss who called out sick with COVID and then left his whole entire team. He betrayed a lot of people there to go be on F-Boy Island.
He let the team down.
And that was like an actual confirmed adult.
Yes, that's a man who was he had a job where he was in charge of a lot of people and he really just neglected it all. Also, I mean, I know we've been just joking about it a lot. The guy who called his girlfriend like every single sort of diss, just don't like that guy.
Oh yeah, don't like him.
Don't like him. But this last guy, I don't know. He's not like the king of the assholes. He's kind of hilarious. He's kind of funny. I really hope he changes his opinions.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. We had a great time.
This was sick. I love hanging out with the boys.
You know, I was
just guys being dudes.
I started to think, you know, maybe we had maybe men, you know, maybe we were on the way up, but after reading those, I don't know.
You thought we were having a bounce back
I
moment?
thought we were having a bounce back moment. We were having a good time.
Turns out we're
but-
still in our flop era.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tig Bitties.
Yeah, Tig Bitties.
That was the biggest
The true-
asshole.
the true
that was the
hero.
biggest asshole. That guy was f***ed up, man.
All right, well, thank you all for watching. Any Reddit stories you find that are super unhinged, please, you can send them over to the Smosh Twitter or post them on the Smosh Reddit. Any sort of way you want to send them to us and let us know. And we'll be back with more of these, I promise. And yeah, thank you guys. And we'll see you later. Bye.